Taylor finally gets gold for US and Eileen GU wins her second silver. Milan. Small margins decided gold medals at the Milan Cortina Olympics as Eileen GU had to settle for another silver in defense of her big air ski freestyle title, and Ilona Meyers-Taylor of the US finally won bobsled gold in her fifth Olympics. Also on day 10 of the Winter Games, a Norwegian contender's emotional reaction overshadowed the last men's alpine ski event, and the US and Canada advanced to another gold medal showdown in women's hockey after winning their semi-final games. Silver again for GU. GU came to Italy to fight for gold medals in 3 different freestyle ski events. She has 2 silvers and still has her best event, the half-pipe, to go. After a long delay because of heavy snow, it was Canada's Megan Oldham who soared to victory with a combined score of 180.75 to GU's 179. It was still a remarkable performance from GU, the San Francisco-born skier for China who hadn't competed in big air in the 4 years since winning gold at the 2022 Olympics. The athlete who beat GU to the gold in slopestyle last week, Switzerland's Mathilde Grimaud, was ruled out of the big air final when she injured her hip in practice hours before. Wait is over. Vancouver, Sochi, Pyeongchang, Beijing. Meyers-Taylor won at least 1 medal at each of her first 4 Olympics, but the gold always eluded her. No longer. The 41-year-old American won that long-awaited medal by just 0.04 of a second in women's monobob when the last competitor, Germany's Laura Nolte, made a small but costly mistake on her final run. Meyers-Taylor's 6th career medal extends her record as the most decorated black athlete at the Winter Olympics. She's also the oldest American woman to win gold at the Winter Games. Meyers-Taylor's US teammate Kaylee Armbruster-Humphries was third, 0.08 off Nolte's time. Alone in the forest. The men's slalom race had a finish like no other. Norway's Atle Lai McGrath was leading the race and skiing last on the second run but straddled a gate and was out. He stopped, threw his ski poles over a fence and then started walking through deep snow to the forest for some time alone. "I thought that I would get some peace and quiet, which I didn't," said McGrath, who said photographers and police tracked him down. The dramatic finish overshadowed Loic Meillard of Switzerland winning gold, and an earlier fall for giant slalom winner and South American history maker Lucas Pinheiro Brathen. It's been an especially tough Olympics for McGrath, whose grandfather died on the day of the opening ceremony. McGrath was racing with an armband as a tribute. World record gold. Rika Miura and Ryuichi Kihara needed something special after placing 5th in the pair's figure skating short program. They delivered. Miura and Kihara produced a world record score in the free skate to win Japan's first ever pairs gold. Georgia got its first medal in any Winter Olympic sport with Anastasia Metelkina and Luka Berulava in second. Short program leaders Minerva Fabian Hayes and Nikita Volodin of Germany dropped to the bronze medal position. Sandra Velzebuhr won her second gold medal of the Olympics in the women's 1,000-meter short track speed skating to match her Dutch teammate Jens van 't Wout with 2 gold medals for the Games. Italy's Oriana Fontana was chasing what would have been her 14th career Olympic medal but placed 4th. Austria won the first ever Olympic gold in men's super team ski jumping. The Austrians were leading when the competition was cut short due to heavy snow. Snow fell in soft, glittering whispers over the halfpipe, catching the early light like scattered diamonds. The crowd, wrapped in flags and hope, stamped their boots against the cold. They weren't just waiting for tricks and spins. They were waiting for redemption. For history. For the kind of moment that makes years of sacrifice feel worthwhile. Taylor stood at the top, board in hand, staring down the icy corridor that had haunted and motivated him in equal measure. 4 years earlier, he had come heartbreakingly close. A missed grab. A slightly underrotated landing. The kind of microscopic imperfection only slow-motion cameras could detect, and yet it had cost him everything. Silver had glittered around his neck, but it had felt heavy. Too heavy. Today was different. He closed his eyes for a second, blocking out the noise. He could hear his coach's voice in his head. Trust your training. Trust your edge. The run is yours. The starter nodded. Taylor dropped in. The first wall came fast. He launched into a massive frontside double cork, body spinning like a perfectly tuned compass needle. The board stayed glued to his feet. Clean. Crisp. The landing sent a spray of powder into the sunlight. The crowd roared. Second hit. Switch stance. A technical combo that few even attempted in competition. He floated it high, grabbing tail at the peak of his rotation, holding it just long enough to make it beautiful rather than rushed. Midway down, the run felt almost surreal. Years of 5 a.m. training sessions. Endless repetitions. Falls that rattled his bones. All of it now compressed into seconds. Final wall. This was the trick. The one that had eluded him before. He launched higher than he ever had, twisting through the air with fearless precision. For a heartbeat, it seemed like time paused. The American flag in the crowd fluttered in slow motion. The judges leaned forward. Somewhere in the stands, a child held up a sign that read, "Bring it home, Taylor." He stomped the landing. Perfect. The run finished with effortless style, and when he slid to a stop, he didn't throw his arms up immediately. He just exhaled, long and deep, like a man who had finally set down an invisible weight. The score flashed. Gold. The sound that followed was not just cheering, it was release. It was vindication. Teammates sprinted toward him. His coach grabbed him in a hug that nearly knocked him off his board. Taylor finally lifted his arms, eyes shining, a laugh breaking through the cold air. He had done it. Gold for the United States. But the story of the day wasn't just about one athlete's redemption. It was also about grace, about consistency under pressure, about an athlete who had already become one of the most recognizable faces of winter sports. Eileen Gu waited calmly near the start gate for her final run. Unlike Taylor, she was defending a legacy already in motion. She had claimed gold earlier in the games, electrifying audiences with her style and fearless amplitude. Now she stood poised to add another medal to her collection. Her demeanor was composed, almost serene. She adjusted her gloves, rolled her shoulders once, and looked down the pipe with quiet intensity. If Taylor's run had been about redemption, Eileen's was about mastery. She dropped in with the smooth confidence of someone who understood every inch of snow beneath her. Her first hit soared. High, clean, controlled. The landing was so fluid it looked effortless, though everyone watching knew how much strength it required. Second trick, technical, stylish, unmistakably hers. She blended power with elegance, her grabs deliberate and photogenic. Cameras loved her. The crowd loved her. But more importantly, judges respected her precision. Mid-run, it became clear, this was a medal performance.